I'm Mike King. Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Hall of Fame Museum for another edition of Indy 500, The Classics. I'm joined by Donald Davidson, Speedway historian. And Donald, in 1963, as the teams came here, certainly the rear engine cars were making some noise, but the Roadster was still king.
That's right, Mike. The rear-engine revolution was beginning, and also the influx of the European drivers. Jim Clark from Scotland came over, Dan Gurney, an American. They were together on the Lotus team of rear-engine cars. And some people wondered whether Jim Clark might be able to win the pole position, but it was Parnelli Jones in this very car, number 98, who was going to have something to say about that.
Jim McElreath, the sensational rookie of 1962, is the first driver to make the 10-mile qualifying run. +149 miles per hour is fast, but wind, the enemy of all race drivers, buffets the straightaways in dangerous gusts. Parnelli Jones takes his turn. Fastest man on the track in practice, he braves the wind and turns 151.153 miles per hour. It's a new qualifying record and evidence that the traditional Indianapolis race car will be hard to beat. Jim Clark of Scotland is on the track in a Lotus, a car with engine in the rear fashioned after European road racing cars. One of the most radical designs to be introduced at the Speedway, it qualifies easily at a speed of 149.75 miles per hour. Lynn Sutton, second place in last year's 500, fails to reach the hot pace. His anxious crew yellow flags the qualification attempt, hoping for better conditions. But Don Branson, one of racing's greatest qualifiers, produces second best time of the day with 150.188 miles per hour. Following him onto the track is Jim Hurtubise in the famous Novi supercharged V8. Proven the most powerful cars at the Speedway, the Novis have thrilled the fans for many years, but bad luck has plagued them. Now, Jim Hurtubise breaks the spell with a qualification speed of 150.257 miles per hour. Veteran mechanic Gene Marcinak is nearly overcome with elation, and Jim Hurtubise is ready for the race. Veteran driver Roger Ward has driven the 500 12 times and has 2 wins, 1 second, and a third to his credit. The 42-year-old professor of racing shows the rookies how to take 4 smooth laps at high speed. He qualifies with the fastest speed of his career, 149.80 miles per hour. Drivers train to build speed in practice sessions. Jack Turner is not seriously injured, but it's the 3rd time in as many years his car has been airborne. From his hospital bed, he prudently announces his retirement from racing. As speeds go up, crowds increase, proving the universal popularity of auto racing. 1961 winner A.J. Foyt breaks into the exclusive 150-mile-an-hour club. Eddie Sachs stops clowning long enough to put his foot on the throttle and qualify at 149.570 miles an hour. Not quite the speed he wanted, but Eddie Sachs is in the show. Dan Gurney climbs into his second Lotus. driving skill that made him famous on the Grand Prix circuits of the world, he qualifies at 149.019 miles per hour. Chief Steward Harlan Fingler gives last-minute instructions to Chuck Hulse, one of the most promising drivers of the year. Hulse cranks out 3 fast laps, and his excited crew waves him on to a qualifying speed of 149.340 miles per hour, faster than he's ever driven in his life. A rocky romance develops between veteran Dwayne Carter and a new little car. In quick succession, he spins on turn 1. Then in turn 2. Blows an engine. And finally catches on fire. But his affection for Mickey Thompson's knee-high design wins over all obstacles. While others laugh at the fat little wheels and flat top, the 50-year-old grandfather scoots it around the track like a roller skate. He qualifies at 148.002 miles per hour. The little wheels have done their job, and it's Dwayne Carter's turn to smile. On Monday, Lynn Sutton's car looks like this. On Tuesday, it looks like this. Sad and unbelieving, he circles the car, wondering which looks worse. Is it the front end, or is it the rear? On Wednesday, Sutton has company. Dempsey Wilson joins the club on turn 1. And on Friday, while practice is hot and heavy, rookie Ronnie Duman pays another visit to the wall. It's his 3rd crash in the same turn, a monotonous routine for a young driver. Bob Harkey tries it backwards, also on turn 1. Then rookie Bobby Unser delights his pit crew by topping 149 miles per hour, and the second Novi is in the field. Unser, many-time winner of the Pikes Peak Hill Climb, proves that a mountain boy can drive this fast track, too. The 3rd Novi is on the track. It's hot-rodded into the field by drag strip star Art Malone at more than 148 miles per hour. Lynn Sutton tries. Oh, how hard he tries, but last year's second-place winner can't get up to speed. Eb Rose of Houston, Texas, once qualified and then bumped, tries another car and wins the last spot in the starting field. This successful bid ends qualifying for the 1963 500.
one little bit of trivia about the final practice session before the race. To this day, it's known as Carburation Day, and everybody uses a fuel injector. But in 1963, Jim Clark and Dan Gurney in the Lotuses had Weber carburetors. They are the last people that ran carburetors on Carburation Day.
Well, we've got the 33 cars lined up, and let's go racing at the Brickyard. The 1963 Indianapolis 500.
The pace car pulls off the track, and the green flag is out. Parnelli Jones leaps into the lead. Backstretch, Jim Hurtubise takes the lead. The crowd roars. The Novi is in front. Parnelli Jones pulls even with Jim Hurtubise on the back straightaway. Passes him on the turns and regains the lead in the second lap. Unser finds trouble in turn one. His car is against the wall. The caution flag warns drivers to slow down as the emergency crews clean the track. For Bobby Unser and his Novi, the race lasted only a minute and a half. The field comes around again, and another car is missing. Art Malone can't get the second Novi in gear. The field begins to spread out, with Parnelli Jones steadily pulling away from the rest of the pack. Parnelli Jones is really charging. No one can stay with him. Alan Crow loses a wheel in turn one. And Jim McElreath and Bobby Marshman spin in the pits. A near catastrophe, but no harm done. Marshman's crew pushes the car back into his pit. Now Parnelli rushes into his first pit stop. Time is critical, for he must make 3 pit stops. In exactly 22 seconds, his crew replaces 3 tires and refuels the car. Parnelli gets new goggles, a drink of water, and a clean windshield. He's off and back to the race. Roger Ward's crew tries to match the lightning speed with which Parnelli Jones was serviced. 1 tire off, 2 tires off. The wheels are hammered tight. And Ward speeds back to the race. While the big Indianapolis Roadsters have had to stop for tires and fuel, Jim Clark in his lightweight Lotus has grabbed the lead. But Now he must make his single planned pit stop of the day. The tiny car can run half the race on one set of tires and load of fuel. Will this important advantage be enough to win? At the halfway point in the race, the crowd behind the Novi pits senses trouble again. A serious oil leak eliminates the last Novi. Jim Hurtubise climbs out of the car. The dejected Novi team knows it's all over for another year. Once again, Jim McElreath spins in the pits. But now, going faster than all others, Parnelli Jones has regained the lead from Jim Clark. In the 126th lap, Parnelli makes another pit stop. Between these stops, he must be the fastest on the track to stay ahead. Mobile technicians have been working with the crew all month. They've blended a special fuel designed to give the power needed to average more than 150 miles per hour. The design is working. The power is there. With quick pit work by the crew and extra power under the throttle, Parnelli is still in the lead as he returns to the track. The blistering pace increases. More and more drivers are showing the strain. The Speedway's Safety Patrol finds that driver Lloyd Ruby has escaped injury, but his car is all through. The 13th entry to lead the race. Lloyd Ruby now takes the long, lonely walk back to the pits. Dwayne Carter's little rear-engine car has gone as far as it can. He coasts into the infield with the engine in pieces. A gallant try by a veteran driver. Parnelli's hot pace just won't quit. Pit crews signal their drivers that they must go faster, faster to stay in this race. Jim Clark, in a solid second place, maintains his steady speed. Now, with only 38 laps to go, Parnelli makes his last pit stop. Parnelli comes in fast, almost too fast, for Clark is gaining on him every second he remains in the pits. Parnelli blasts back to the race, for Jim Clark is hurtling down the main straight, hoping to pass him. Parnelli holds his lead, but Eddie Sachs interrupts the duel of the leaders as he spins out and hits the inside rail. But Eddie Sachs is not out of the race. He gets a restart. Parnelli is just 4.5 seconds ahead of the smooth-driving Clark. Parnelli's crew frantically calls for even more speed. He pours on the coal, but Clark stays close behind him. The speeds grow frantic. And Eddie Sachs crashes for the second time. Losing a wheel, another hazard for tired drivers. Parnelli dives low in the turn to miss the wrecked car. Then Parnelli Jones takes the white flag. 1 lap to go. But Roger McCluskey in third place makes a desperate bid to improve his position on this 199th lap. McCluskey spins. He will not finish this race. But Parnelli Jones finishes the 500-mile ordeal in 3 hours and 29 minutes. Victory and riches await Parnelli Jones, who has won the fastest Indianapolis 500-mile race ever run. What is the design that produced this great winner? Was it his superb driving? Was it the engineering know-how that gave him that extra power and speed? Or was it the teamwork that rushed him through each pit stop in record time? Right now, Parnelli doesn't know, nor does the crowd. They only know they have found a new champion of speed. Scotsman Jim Clark's Lotus captures second place. Former winner A.J. Foyt is close behind in third. And Eddie Sachs makes it across the finish line with one wheel. Parnelli Jones takes the triumphant tour. He's the man who proved the design for a winner.
In 1964, Ford would go to a double overhead camshaft racing engine, but in '63, Jim Clark was second with a production-based Ford engine. Now, how many pit stops do you suppose that Jim Clark made on his way to second place?
500 miles of racing, I'm going to guess 3.
You're way high. 1 pit stop.
Amazing.
Just
One
past
stop.
halfway.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, the Acadianian car, driven by Parnelli Jones, in victory lane for the 1963 Indianapolis 500, another Indy 500 classic. For Donald Davidson, I'm Mike King. We'll see you next time.